Hello. My name is Nina. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm doing a really exciting video because I am reading recommendations from my friends in this video. I asked my friends to recommend me their favorite book or one of their favorite books because choosing one obviously is very hard. I did not get a say in this at all. I just told them, recommend me something that either you love or you would like me to read, and that is what I did in this video. It was definitely a journey. I read books that are very much out of my comfort zone and I would not have picked up if it weren't for these recommendations. So I think this should be really fun to watch. I hope you enjoy. And let's see the recommendation by the first friend. Can you tell me which book you chose and why?
I have it here. I thought about this for a while. There were many contenders, but I ended up choosing a book that I think is the most interesting to talk about. And I'm also the most interested in hearing what your opinion is going to be about it, because it tends to go either way for people. I have chosen Bunny. Bunny is a dark academia novel about a very kind of pretentious girl at this prestigious writing society. And I know you really like writing, so I think that's going to be really interesting to you. There's a lot of kind of almost satire, kind of like jokes about the writing world.
Okay, I do love that kind of stuff.
She meets the only other people in her writing class are these three rich girls who call each other Bunny, and they love wearing pink and wearing their frilly outfits, and they're like, oh my god, I love you, Bunny, you're so amazing, Bunny, your writing is so fantastic, Bunny. Like very kind of stereotypical over the top idea of womanhood and female friendships, and she gets taken into their group. Like they invite her for their like special movie nights, and things get really weird really quickly. It's very surrealistic, and that's why some people really don't like that. I don't know if you would like that.
I also don't know.
This is the kind of book where you're not gonna understand, but it's okay.
Okay, and it's the point.
Yeah, I think it's like it takes a while for you to see what the point is. So for a while you might be confused, but I think the great thing about this book is that many different people interpret it in so many different ways. There are many different ways that you can interpret it. It is generally like a critique of like pretentious writing schools, female friendships. It has a pretty feminist message, I think. It's just like an exploration of girlhood.
Those are all things that I am really interested in.
You would find those really interesting. It's just that the message is not super clear. But I like that, and that's why my copy is full of tabs.
I love that.
And I think, I don't remember which one, but I have orange and yellow tabs, and I think the yellow tabs were things where I was like, I don't know what this means, but I'm sure I'll understand if I look back at it after reading the book.
Okay, so there are many yellow tabs.
Many. I think you could have a lot of fun with that.
Okay.
And I'm just really interested in knowing if you're gonna hate it or love it.
I'm also really interested. I have heard people describe it as a horror book.
Yes. It is kind of, it can get just weird, slightly gory.
Okay. Well, I don't mind that.
With that.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I cannot do like very scary books.
No, it's not scary.
But I love the substance, which is very gory
kind of
and yes.
Yeah. It's actually similar vibes.
Okay.
Where it's like weird, kind of gory suddenly, but with like a message.
Okay. Well, I did love that movie, so I guess
I would recommend this to people who like the substance. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna read it, and I will let you know what I think of it.
I'm really excited to hear it.
Me too. I'm really excited to experience it.
Yeah, it is an experience for sure.
Made it here, but all I hear are all of the voices inside of my mind, bringing all the doubt and all my fears, all tangled up, caught in all of the lies. I'm searching for the missing piece, but looking for a song to sing, calm this heart inside of me. deeper than any scar, higher than any star I reach. Oh, it's the love you are. Oh.
Hello, it is Saturday today, and I read the first, I think, 4 or 5 chapters of Bunny. So far, I'm really intrigued. I really like the writing style. It's very, I think dark academia is the only way I can describe it. It's like a little bit poetic, it's a little bit pretentious maybe, but it's very, I think, very nice to read a book in this like tone of voice. So far we have met the main character called Samantha, and we have met the bunnies. There is this weird thing where she has nicknames for almost all of the people. So she has the nickname bunnies for the group of girls, but all of the girls also individually have nicknames. So for example, one of them is like referred to as Cupcake, and also a different character who's not part of the bunnies is referred to as the Lion, but we don't know their actual names. And that makes it a little bit hard to like connect with those characters because they don't feel like people, they feel like characters. Like they don't really exist in this universe that we're reading about. That gives this kind of distance between you and those characters, but it gives a very interesting like closeness to the main character and to the people that she chooses to call by name. So far I'm really intrigued. I'm having a great time and I'm really excited to continue reading. Like I said, I only read about 4 chapters so far. So far I can see why Leo likes it so much. When I read the first chapter, I was afraid that I might be a little bit too dumb for this book. And that's not to say that I'm not smart, but I just am not a very attentive reader. I have a hard time reading classics or like really serious books. Reading for me is just a hobby, and I tend to read as something a little bit more passive. I don't mind paying attention and like having to really keep your mind on your book. Obviously, that's something I really love. But if it's the kind of book that you have to like keep going back and rereading parts, or you really have to like almost take notes to understand it, that's just not the genre of books that I really like. And I was a little bit afraid that this might feel like that, but after the first chapter it didn't feel like that at all anymore. So I don't think that's gonna be an issue. So tonight I actually have really fun plans that I wanted to take you along with, because tonight is something that's called museum night, and it's literally what it sounds like. Like all the museums have this one night where they stay open until like 2 a.m. I think, and you buy 1 ticket for the night and you can enter as many museums as you want to. And there's special events, there's like parties going on, there's usually artists that you can, you know, see, but there's also just like the regular artwork from the museum that you can go see. It's always really fun, and I'm going there tonight, so I wanted to take you along with me. Let's go look at some art. All right, I have reached 30% of this book, and I just read this quote. So this man just showed up like 3 seconds ago.
Why would a man be there? A white man? No!
They're like sitting together at this table, and they haven't seen each other for like 10 years. And she says, I can't believe it that he's here. And he just went, believe it, please. It makes sex faster.
Sex faster?
I don't know what this means. And then I just read this, and Leo was like, this is the
Which
part
one?
where it gets...
Yeah, which Leo?
I was
That
telling
you just said that
this is the part where it gets wacky.
wacky? What does that mean? I'm so curious.
I've never read this book, but I have a feeling they're gonna start killing the men.
Yeah, I also feel like a killing vibe is going on because like yes, but no, these girls are so creepy. They're like they will definitely kill you. And also there's a lot of talk about how dangerous this town is and that a lot of people are getting murdered in this town.
A killing vibe? It's
Yeah.
a bad vibe.
The whole
for
book
party
has a
to have.
killing vibe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really want to see your reaction to the rest of the chapter and the
Oh.
whole party.
I mean,
I don't really remember exactly what happened, but I know it was weird.
Okay.
So.
Well, I can read it right now.
I'm still really confused about the sex.
I'm also they're
I
not
think
having
it's
sex.
supposed to be confusing.
Oh.
The main character's confused as well. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she just goes sex faster, and then he puts his leather finger to my lips. Shh.
What is happening? I thought it was worse.
Oh. I don't know how to describe it because I'm really intrigued. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily like I'm having fun,
No.
but it's like I don't want to stop reading. So it's a good
Exactly.
thing. But it's like
It's not fun.
I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But not in a way that's something that really annoys me about books. It's like I don't understand what's going on because everything is vague, and that's not the case here. It's not vague. Like it's very clear what's happening.
Oh,
I just don't understand why it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And
oh,
that's
that's good because that's always my gripe as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes with like the depressed, weird, girly books,
yeah.
and it's like sometimes it's just so unclear to me what is even going on and where we are,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can't get attached
Yeah.
to the story at all.
Yes, yes. This is where it gets weird.
This is where it gets weird. It has been weird the whole time. Alright, I have finished reading Bunny, so let's discuss my thoughts. The first word that comes to mind when I have to describe this book is weird. This book is really weird. It's like, it's strange, it's gross, it's interesting, it's just like, it has so much going on, and most of it is really, really weird. But I do not say this in a bad way. Actually, I think that is a really good thing. This book kept surprising me, and it kept doing things that I didn't expect. It kept me entertained and involved in the storyline, and I really liked the main character, or the way the main character was described. So whatever happened to her, I was really invested in. Now, there are a lot of things in this book that are fake and not really described. I wouldn't say not described well, but it is described in a way that I think intentionally leaves out some things that will make it clearer. So it's very, you're kind of scrambling for context and for clues to figure out what is actually happening. But I think this is intentional because it leaves a lot of space for you to interpret the book in a certain way. And sometimes I can find this really annoying in books. For example, when I read My Year of Rest and Relaxation, I was just mostly annoyed all the time because I didn't get enough context to understand what was happening. And there were some parts in this book where I felt that way, but mostly I knew enough to still be invested. I think my favorite parts of this book were when they were talking about the school. The writing school is really interesting, and I feel like they have a lot of interesting thoughts about writing, about... If you've been to art school, like me, I feel like there's a lot of things to recognize in the way that the classes are set up, in the way they talk about different things, in the way that everything is so pretentious and so, like, everyone is so full of themselves, and at some point they talk about the process with a capital P, and that is just so relatable to like art school. I just thought that was really fun. It was both criticism for that kind of culture, but also I think just a really good description of what it's like to be taught art, I think. So that was definitely my favorite part. But also this is a character study of, in my opinion, a girl who does not fit into the classic mold of what femininity looks like and who tries to kind of fit that mold. That is how I kind of read most of these situations, and I thought that was really, really interesting. I do feel like there might be like deeper levels to this book that I am not understanding. And I don't know if that's actually the case or if that's just how I feel, but I'm afraid almost that I didn't get this book, even though I really enjoyed it and I have my own thoughts and feelings about, you know, the message behind this book. I'm almost like scared to talk about it because I feel like I'm missing something important. But I think that's just because there is so many things in this book and I feel like you can look at it many different ways. So I really understand not just why Leonie loves this book so much, but also why she wanted me to read it, because I'm really excited to see her again in a couple of days and talk about it with her, because there's so many things in this book that I want to know her thoughts on and so many things that I want to share my thoughts on. So I think this is a really fun book to share with someone around you. So I'm really glad I read this book, and I'm also really happy that I get to share this with Leonie and we can talk about our thoughts and feelings about this book together. So that was the first part of this video. Now let's go to the next person and let's see what other book I have to read, because it's one of my friends' favorite books. Hello. Hi. I asked you a few weeks ago to think about, you know, your favorite book. Do you want to talk about the process of choosing which book?
So this was actually really difficult for me. I'm famously bad at making choices. All my friends know this. But I think I really started overthinking it because I actually had a book in my mind from the start, but I had like all these caveats where I'd be like, but she could hate it, she could hate this or that. And then I started going through my list of favorite books. And I was like, there's actually 37 favorite books. So that was really hard for me. I kind of wanted to choose something I feel like you wouldn't really come across on your own and you wouldn't really pick for yourself. But preferably, I did want it to be something that could be enjoyable for you.
Okay, so did you end up choosing the one you had in mind from the start, or did you choose a different one?
Yes, you're going to read The Will of the Many. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm excited actually because both you and Leonie were very like
Vocal about how we loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really good original take on a lot of things we've already seen in fantasy. So it feels very familiar but very new and refreshing at the same time, and it's just really well done and really well put together. I think especially if you've read a lot of fantasy over the years, this book feels like a breath of fresh air that still kind of builds upon themes and things that are very relevant and important.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how the perspective is if you've not been a super big fantasy reader. Like you read fantasy, but you wouldn't say it's your main genre, I guess.
No, I've not read a lot of fantasy, and mostly the fantasy I've read is like objectively not that good. Like I read the Sarah J. Maas, like the Fourth Wing type of fantasy, but not like actual quality.
Yeah, so I have no idea how this is going to go. Like, it might be a bit of a, like, not a really good book to start with. I don't know. I don't think I would recommend it as like, yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
but,
it's okay.
But if you ask me about my favorite book, then this is what I've been thinking of.
Yeah. I'm really excited to read The Will of the Many.
Okay.
How many pages is it?
I think 639.
Oh, that's not that bad. I thought it was like 1,000 pages.
No, I might be wrong. Leo, could you look it up for us?
According to Goodreads, 640 pages.
Oh my god, is it 639? That's crazy.
It is 639.
Hey.
I rounded it up.
Yeah, the thing I will say about The Will of the Many, I think it's exactly the amount of pages it should be. I feel like it has been edited, it has been thought through, and everything that's in there really adds something, in my opinion. I would advise you to go in and just be like, if you don't understand things, just like roll with it. Just be like, sure.
One thing I am thinking of is that you actually told me a big spoiler of this book. I don't know how big it is, but there's one thing that you told me because I thought I would never read this book.
Yeah, I asked you, do you think you will ever read this? You're like, no.
Leora's taking me to the other room so she can spoil me on the book because Leonie wants to read it and I don't.
I
So
know you'll never read it.
this is how good this book is, that you have to like find someone to talk about it with.
Like, and even you are like, oh, and you're not even reading it.
I'm not reading it. And I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible. I'm really excited to start it. I'm gonna download it on my e-reader so it seems like a smaller book.
That's smart.
And it's also easier to carry around. Alright, well, thank you. Thank you for making a choice. I'm really proud of you. And maybe I will do a part 2 to this video and you can choose another book.
I have 37 favorite books.
So maybe I should do 37 parts of reading my best and favorite books.
It's 37 parts.
Million thoughts are spinning round in my head. My pulse holds it down, 'cause I'm almost there. Now I see you through the window and I'm walking on air. But I won't let you know, and I know how it goes. It's supposed to feel incredible. It's too bad you had to leave. Please come back now, baby, where were we? Said you changed and a lot. Got the memory still popping up. Show me your heart, show you mine. You go first, I will whine. You're my soul, my heart, my beautiful. You're my first, my last, my wonderful. And I just can't seem to get enough. It's because I love you most of all. Million thoughts are flying from my head. Let's kiss them away and stay in my bed, just to know that you are mine. I'm floating on air and I wanna let it show. But I know how it goes. It's supposed to feel incredible. Guess our memories are catching up. You're my soul, my heart, my beautiful. You're my first, my last, my wonderful. And I just can't seem to get enough. It's because I love you most of all.
The story goes that the Vikings, when you buy and make
We have shame, but not that much. Guess our memories are catching up. You're my soul, my heart, my beautiful. You're my first, my last, my wonderful. And I just can't seem to get enough. It's because I love you most of all. You're my soul, my heart, my beautiful. You're my first, my last, my one.
Hello, good evening. I am sitting on my balcony with a cup of tea and my book, and I thought it was about time that I give you a little bit of a reading update. Because I have been reading The Will of the Many for what feels like 4 years. Realistically, I think it's about 2 weeks, but still, that is a very long time, and I feel like I've picked up this book countless times. I feel like I've spent a lot of time reading this book. I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening in this book, and I'm only 14% in. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm having a great time reading this book. I think the first 5% or something, I was very confused, but by now I feel like I know enough about this world and about what's going on and about our main character that I can kind of understand what's going on. There's still a lot of questions, there's a lot of unexplained things. It's obviously a big fantasy world that you have to get to know, but I feel like I have enough knowledge to enjoy reading this book instead of feeling just confused all the time. But it is strange to feel like I have spent so much time with this book already and I'm only 14% in. Like last night I read for I think about 2 hours in one sitting, and I went up 3% in this book. I'm reading it on my e-reader, so I don't really know how that is in terms of pages, but not only is this book a thick book, I think it's like 650 pages, which is not the biggest book I've ever read, but it's not very small either, but everything is very, I want to say complex, not in a I don't understand it way, but in a way where I'm reading it slowly, not necessarily because I'm like going back and rereading things sometimes, but it's not necessary as much as I thought. But every single sentence just takes me longer than a sentence in a romance book would, because I want to understand every single word, and that sometimes means that I have to like sit with a word for a little bit longer before I'm like, oh yes, that's what this means. Oh yes, that's this person. It doesn't mean that nothing is happening. So many things have already happened. I feel like we've had like 6 major things happen and we are not even on the point of like plot twists yet, you know? There's so much in this book, but so far it does not feel like I'm reading anything that is not important. And I feel like that is really rare for books where so many things are happening. I feel like every single thing we're reading about is really important, which is why I want to spend all of my time and energy soaking it up instead of just kind of glancing over it because I'm like, well, this is not really important. I feel like every single sentence I read is important and I have to give it my full attention. So I'm having a lot of fun and I catch myself really thinking like, oh, I want to make time today to read this book because I don't want to not read it for a few days. You know what I mean? I want to not only stay invested in this story and make sure that I don't fall out of it, but I'm also just really curious to know what's happening next and I want to continue the story. So those are my thoughts right now. I'm gonna continue reading. I feel like I cannot talk about anything in this book without giving spoilers, which is why I have not really talked about the plot I think what I can tell you is that this book is about a fantasy world which is ruled by something that they call the hierarchy. And the hierarchy works in a way that the will, which is their magic system basically, has ranks. So every rank takes will from the people below them. And so you have a hierarchy of people who keep having more and more will taken from the people below, and every single person, except if you're on the full top, you have to give will away. And the will has to do with how much knowledge you have, how much power you have, but also how fast your body heals and how much magic you have, basically. And the main character we're following is pretending to be someone else because his family got executed. That's what we know. We don't know why his family got executed. We don't know who he really is, but his family got executed and he is refusing to give his will away. And that is like the whole storyline so far, is that he is trying to live in this world where he is actively working against this really powerful hierarchy, and nobody knows who he really is, and also nobody knows that he's really not willing to give away his will. I think that's what I can tell you based off of what is on the back as well. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm excited to continue reading. I'm gonna continue reading now, and I will chat with you again when I have more to say. Hello, good evening. I just got ready for bed and I am about to read a little bit more of The Will of the Many before I fall asleep. And I wanted to give a little bit of an update because I have progressed a lot in this book. I've been filming this video for a long time, so long that I have stopped taking B-roll because I had so much B-roll for the rest of this video. I just needed to finish this book, and it's been taking me weeks, but absolutely not in a bad way. I have been invested in this book from like the first few chapters. Usually, when it takes me a long while to read a book, it's because it's not really keeping me excited enough that I want to pick up my book. So whenever I read, I'm into it. But whenever I'm not reading, I'm not thinking about it. However, in this book, that is not the case. I have been reading almost every single day. I'm so excited to read. I'm so into this book. It's just taking me forever. And again, that's not a bad thing. I think that's just because it's so interesting and I want to really soak up everything that I'm reading. But it is important to know, like, this book is taking almost all of my brain power whenever I read it. But it feels like you found a like really nice TV show and you realize it's like 6 seasons. I am like completely immersed in this world and I'm so invested in this story. I've gasped out loud multiple times reading this book. The book is split up in, I think, 3 parts. And the first part was anything leading up to going to the academy. And all I really knew going into this book was that there was an academy and Viz was going to go there. And it took a long, long time to get there. But before we even get to the academy, so many things happen. So many characters are introduced, so many places are introduced, and the environment keeps shifting and changing, which was really interesting, but it was hard to kind of settle into. But then I think starting part 2 was when I felt really grounded in what I was reading, because that's when you get to the academy. The environment is the same, the people are the same. You can get to know characters a little bit more deeply, because in part 1 we would meet someone and then a few chapters later we would like go somewhere else, and I didn't really have the time to really connect to anyone. But in part 2 you do really get that time, and you have a lot more time to sit with everyone and also the environment of the academy. And this morning when I was reading, I reached part 3, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this. I'm expecting a little bit more danger. I don't really want to say anything about this book except mention the academy, because the academy is on the back of the book. Like, I know if you know this book, you know there's gonna be an academy, but anything else feels like a spoiler. And again, so many things happen, but nothing feels irrelevant. There is not a single scene that I've read where I was like, we could have kept this out. I feel like everything has such a strong meaning, and everything is important in the greater scheme of things. It's either to get to know the characters better, or the world better, or for the story building, or for references later. Like, there is like so much going on, and I'm enjoying every single second that I'm reading this book. The other day I was talking about this book and I kind of compared it to when I read A Little Life, and A Little Life is a very different book in terms of storyline. Like, it's not fantasy, it's very sad, it's a completely different book. However, I felt similarly about like how immersed I was in the world and how real the characters felt to me, and how every single scene felt so important to the story. And that book also took me a long while to get through, but I didn't mind because I was so like into the characters, and still I sometimes feel like I miss them. There's specific things that remind me of the characters, and I feel like this book has the potential to be that as well. Because I'm spending so much time with this book, it will stay with me for a long, long time. I can totally understand why Leora loves this book so much. And now I'm gonna stop talking so I can continue reading. Yesterday, I finally finished The Will of the Many, so let's talk about it. To be honest, I don't know if there's any more I can say without spoiling anything, but I really loved this book. I loved every single second that I was reading this book. I was so invested in the characters, in the story. But like I've mentioned before, it has taken me so long to finish this book and to finish this video, which did not make it less enjoyable. I think it might have made it even more enjoyable because I feel like I've spent so much time with these characters. However, that does make me glad that I finished it now. I think it's really rare that a book that takes me so long actually keeps me engaged and motivated to read the whole time. I feel like this kind of experience can easily put you in a reading slump, and it did the exact opposite for me. I feel like I'm more motivated to read than ever, and I feel like the next couple of books I'm gonna read, I'm gonna just fly through because I read so much in the last couple of weeks. The story was absolutely incredible, and even though it was this whole fantasy world and there was so much like unknown stuff, I did not really feel confused at all. I felt like I knew exactly what I needed to know to be invested in the story, and whenever I kind of felt like I needed to know more, it was explained. So I don't think there's any rating I can give this book except 5 stars because I enjoyed this so much. I don't know if this will be like my gateway into fantasy or the like more higher fantasy genre. It might be. If you have any recommendations of books that give the same vibes as The Will of the Many or give the same experience, like the same reading experience, please let me know, because I would love to read more in this category. But yeah, this was just an incredible experience and I loved every second of it. And I am happy that I finished the book. However, I'm also really excited that there's a second book coming and I can look forward to reading that. So that is the end of this video. I cannot believe that I had such a great experience with both of these books. But then again, I kind of can believe it because I feel like my friends have such good tastes in books. I was gonna read another book for this video, recommended by me by a different friend, but because it took me so long to finish this book, I feel like I have to end it here. But if you're interested in a second part to this video with maybe different friends, or like we mentioned before, different books by the same friends, because everyone has like a million favorite books, do let me know, because I really enjoyed this and it was so fun to read books that are really special to people that are close to me. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe down below if you want to. I would love to hear your thoughts about these books or about this video in the comments, and I will see you again next week. Bye!